do that too. Hey, folks, this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. Like I say every week, y'all, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything in between, folks, you are live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast, from Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. That's how we do it, folks. And once again, on a Tuesday, my boy, Gemini, fellow Gemini in the house, Dusty Vision. What's up with you, Doc?
My man, Lonzo. How you feeling today, Playboy?
Man, I'm hanging like a chandelier, just trying to shine. How you feeling today?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm a little down today. My son is officially moved out of the house. You know, it's a bittersweet moment, man. My son went out of he moved out of state to go to college, and you know, I saw him off a couple days ago. So I'm officially an empty nester, man. So it hit me a little hard, Lonzo.
Where'd he go?
UNLV. So not too far. I could at least 1 hour plane ride, so that's not too bad.
That's an excuse to hop on the 15. Shit.
Yep, that's nothing. Yeah. So I guess there is a positive, but other than that, man, I'm doing great, man.
Glad to hear it, man. My son is he's looking to go to college. He got one more year in junior college before he wants to go to HBCU. And I was thinking about the same thing, man. You know, you should kicking him in the ass in junior college before he wants to go to
Yeah, man. Sorry, that was me on my end. My apologies.
Okay. How's it going, man?
Yeah, man. Well, let's jump into it, man. A lot of stuff to talk about, as always. I don't like to start on a sad note, but we haven't talked about this type of situation in a few weeks. But 10 people were shot at a laundromat in NYC. Video, there's kids around, mothers around. When 4 people opened fire, 2 on foot and 2 on moped scooters. Last week, Alonzo, over 1,000 people were shot and or murdered across America, bringing the total number higher than it's been in almost 2 decades. We're going backwards, my man.
Well, if you ask my boy Unknown, heard some of our conversations, this is the unchastised generation. They don't know how to fight. They don't know what it is to get an ass whooping. They don't know what it is to take an ass whooping. As soon as they get offended, they want to cancel people. This is a cancel culture. They want to cancel you to the utmost by putting a bullet in you some way, form, or fashion. And the cold part about it is, man, they don't have respect for anything. This is a generation that everything is about respect, but they don't want to give no respect. Even the worst gangsters of our time, man, wouldn't do certain things around women, wouldn't do things around kids. Now, everybody's open season, man. If I'm upset, I have the right to impede upon your safety and your child's safety by firing bullets into a crowd. Now, what did 10 people do to those 4 people? I'm trying to understand the numbers. You said 10 people in a laundromat. 4 people got out shooting. So was 4 people looking at one person of the 10 and with a horrible shot and just took chances on shooting everybody in there?
That's exactly that's it right there.
Huh?
That's it right there.
Or is it the gang washing their clothes? And, was it hood clothes washing day? And they just decided to pull up on them? You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Was it hood laundry day? How do you explain that? How do you explain that?
Yeah, real talk, man.
Hood laundry day. Oh, some fools over there washing their clothes, man. Let's roll up on them. On a moped? You trying to get caught.
Yep.
They're going to show you whoever's doing the shooting was broke. I mean, you ride the moped, man. Come on, dude. Come on.
And Derek said something D Blue said something that once again makes sense, and we always point out, didn't see that on any news channels. I saw that shit on Vlog TV or something like that on Instagram. I didn't see it on Nan news channel. I did see it on the feed, but it wasn't nothing major. It wasn't nothing major. Nothing that should have been. It should have been something that's been more. People should be more aware of it. But again, man, because the people that got shot, anybody were they black folks? This was in a minority area, yes.
Were the people shooting black?
They sure, according to the surveillance, we know how niggas shoot. They do the sideways thing, right? Yes, they look like a bunch of niggas, yes. I can't even call them black folk. Those are
black folk. That's a nigga shit right there, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's funny we can say that and get away with it, but if they was anything, if they was some of the LGBTQ, we get canceled for saying any derogatory words. But that's another subject.
Which leads me into our next subject, if you would like to jump into that.
Come on.
The baby situation, man. The baby has been dropped as of today, Tuesday, 6 p.m. It seems like every hour he's getting dropped from a festival. He's gotten dropped from 7 festival lineups so far for comments that he made at a recent show about gays and AIDS. And now, before you give your opinion, my thing is, they don't care about the lyrics about him killing niggas and shooting and selling drugs and this and that. But when it happens to the clan, and I got love for gay people. Ain't no hating or none, but I wish we would stick together like the goddamn gays do, man.
And that's the part. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going with this, Doc. You know, one thing about certain communities, they have a unity that will not tolerate bullshit of any type. I don't care who it comes from, okay? Certain communities, I don't care who says what, we ain't going for it. But we got this seesaw back and forth. It's our word. We can do this. We can say this double standard that allows a crack in the armor, and things get swept under the rug. People turn the other head. People turn their head the other way. They justify because, don't hate on them. That's how they make their money. They make their money by promoting genocide. Now, here we are. It's a perfect example of anybody that's paying attention to see the power of consequences. The power of consequences. Okay? When you do something that offends a certain group, whether it be black folks, whatever, they didn't go out and march. They didn't march. They didn't go out there tear nothing. They just, he canceled. He can't make no money. He can't make no money or something. Money been tight already. Okay? We just got where we can start making money again. Oh, you want a trip? You can't make no money with us. Okay? Anybody mess with you, we may cancel them too. That's in the old school, that was called a boycott, blackball. Okay? When you offend certain groups, and I feel that we need to establish ourselves on the same level as everybody else. So when somebody gets abused by the police, somebody gets killed, whether it be done by a black man or a cop, we come down in the same way. We canceling you permanently. But again, you got to fight between. Oh, I can't say that. I can't even say that on TV. You got to fight with one black group and one N-word group, and that's gonna be the fight right there. They ain't gonna, because people make money off of this. Okay, people make money off of our degradation. People, money's made from that. Okay, and there are people that know that that's their job is to keep pumping negativity into the minds of these youngsters, so they can go out and shoot a laundromat up. They can go and shoot a party up. So all of a sudden, next day, the people start moving out. Other people start moving in, and then you wonder why gentrification is so prevalent in the black community, because we make black folks that don't want to be bothered with that shit move out, and then the people that doing the crime, doing the dumb shit, either they're gonna get shipped off to jail, or they probably renting anyway. They're gonna be gone anyway. Meanwhile, somebody come in with some hammers, some nails, some paint, and turn something that was worth $90,000 into $400,000, $500,000, and you can't afford to live there no more.
I was in Charleston about a year or so ago, and one of my good friends was explaining to me about North Charleston and how pretty much anytime you're in a town across America that has North in, the title, that's where all the blacks and minorities were pushed to the side. They were pushed to the North Long Beach, North Hampton, all that. Yeah. So, but yeah, gentrification is real because you mentioned that. And I was walking through Inglewood. And dude, I'm walking next to white dudes with lattes and walking their little dogs, where just maybe 5-7 years ago, I wouldn't probably even been walking down that street.
Man, me and Unknown was talking about, he said he saw a whole family of joggers. They was not black coming down Western the MLK. Dude, you ain't run down MLK. But now I tell you what, I keep telling people, when certain groups come to the community, the police are going to respond differently and much faster.
In a different way.
They're going to respond much faster in a different attitude. And unlike us, they're going to snitch. Okay? They come into court, they're going to point your ass out. He did it. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
He did it. And they're not going to care about that. And those who try to intimidate them will find themselves being pointed out in court. So You got to understand that follow the, like what I tell you before. Respect the money, man. Follow the money. Respect the money, because when you forget about the money, everything else don't nothing else mean nothing in a capitalistic society. Don't nothing else carry no weight. How you feel don't carry no weight. The reason why I believe, and that we had the same conversation the other day, one of the reasons why other groups have much more power in America, because they still have a connection to their homeland. When you mess with people from China, guess what? The Chinese government got their back. When you mess with Latinos, there's enough Latinos here, they have their back. When you mess with us, we ain't got each other's back. So how the hell Africa can't help us, because China got them under control for the most part. And I know I'm a little bit out of my lane. I know I might get hit up from some of the intellectuals, but when it comes down to it, everybody got a homeland to go to except for us. We kind of stuck. We know we got a homeland, but for the most part, most of our mindset is not connected to the homeland. Therefore, we're not connected economically. So we're no economic threat. If China stops sending stuff to America, Walmart go out of business. Okay? If China stops supporting America, Walmart go out of business. Okay? Simple as that. So these are the kind of things. And if a certain group say, I ain't going to work, a whole lot of stuff stopped getting picked, stopped getting shipped. A whole lot of things change. If we do it, it's like they said, was that joke about I think it was Bernie? No, it was Bruce said a joke about kidnapping black kids. Keep him. I ain't got no money for that. It's sad to say, but one thing about being real or being non-bullshit, sometimes that shit stings. People don't like hearing that shit. I know. That's why my channel is bigger than it is. I tell the truth. Truth hurt like a motherfucker. Go ahead.
Yep, that's real talk. Marcus Mitchell wants to chime in on the DaBaby thing. He says, do you think DaBaby would have had a chance if he had apologized right away?
Maybe, but he doubled down on it, and that made it worse. Okay? He didn't apologize till it started really hitting his pockets. I don't know how much money he gets per show, but 7 times anything is a nice piece of change. Huh?
Yeah, it's a lot.
7 times anything is a nice piece of change. And especially if you're talking about shows between now and September, October, that's peak season. After that, the festivals kind of shut down. It's going to be cold. It's going to be cold in most parts of the country after September, October. Ain't nobody going to be outside looking at your ass with no shirt on. That ain't going to happen. Not until next spring. So that means whatever lifestyle that you are living is going to have a serious impact, and you cause it on yourself. But that goes right back. That goes right back to what I said a few weeks ago about artists always want to have some kind of shock value. That shit turned around and bit him in the ass. Everybody's looking for shock value. Everybody trying to say something to go viral. Yeah, you went viral, but you went viral with a real virus that tore your ass up. Sorry, bro. Yeah,
and it sucks that he is, one of the talented ones. He is a talented rapper. I don't know if you've ever listened to his music. I'm a fan of his music. There's Lil Baby and DaBaby. They're both a little bit different, but both good in my opinion. But DaBaby is a really good artist, and it's interesting that they're targeting the good one, because I'm sure that some lesser talented artists have said dumb shit like that at their shows, and they just let it slide. But being that he's the biggest one right now and he is very talented, I think there's something else behind it.
And this goes back to last week's show. You should have learned from Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart said something to that effect a few years back, stopped him from hosting the Emmys or the Grammys or whatever it was, the Emmys. Kevin Hart made a derogatory comment in regards to the LGBT community. I think about his son. If his son ever came home gay, he would do some things to him. And that was 10. That was like 8-10 years ago before you said it. And when they went back to his Twitter page, no. Okay, so people ain't paying attention, man. There's certain things you cannot touch on, dude, and it's gonna blow your legs off, man. It's landmines here in this world. And sometimes them landmines will blow your legs off and have you sitting in a sitting in the doggone rocket chair for the rest of your life.
Yeah, man. And this goes out to the people that don't have a big following like DaBaby. This goes out to the person out there that makes $17 an hour. You know, this could ruin you too. So be careful what you're posting on Facebook. Be careful what you're saying on Instagram. Don't just think you could say anything, because there are people out there watching. There are groups that they're watching, and it will hurt the person making, you know, $16 an hour who can't get a job, because the first time you Google his name, that's what you're going to see, you know, just as much as it hurts DaBaby, who's probably literally lost $1 million in the past week.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let's move. Let's move on, man. Yella's been everywhere. He was on Vlad TV this week, and of course, World Class Wrecking Crew came up. So definitely had a couple of questions. Would love to talk about Yella. I know we talked about him, you know, a couple of weeks ago, but you know, so many questions. He's one of the ones that we didn't really discuss, you know, too much throughout the past couple of years. But he was on Vlad TV, and he talked about joining World Class Wrecking Crew. He discussed how you guys were enemies with Uncle Jam's army. Now, was it more like a friendly competition type of thing, or was there some real serious beef underneath?
People gotta understand. Me and Roger always, rest in peace, Roger. Me and Roger, we started off together. I was his DJ at Alpine Village before they became Uncle Jam's Army. We worked at the same record place together. My last job was working with him. Okay, we both started promoting around the. Well, he started promoting house parties first. I started doing dances right behind that. When I at one time I had asked Roger to be a partner in Eve After Dark, he turned it down. And shortly after that, the Eve blew up. He came back trying to get a spot. Like, dude, I don't need you. I don't need you. What I need you for? And if you have to understand, Roger, when you turn him down, he automatically becomes your enemy. Okay. And we went back and forth for years, you know, going back with each other. And we weren't really enemies per se. We still would talk and communicate. If he had something I could use, he called me up. Hey, man, I got something you could use. And sometimes vice versa. But when it came to promotions, it came to parties, our crews had more of a vendetta than we did. Okay, I would go off. I would F Uncle Jam's Army, snatch all their posters, and because sometimes they'd be in violation, and they knew they would be in violation, but they would try it anyway. He'd have some new cats doing some stuff. You know, and that was always one of his things. He had a lot of different people working for him. I had the same guys most of the time. Yella, Dre, Wendell, rest his soul, Eric, rest his soul, Charles, an unknown. We all rolled the Eve till the wheels fall off. So, and Fat. And so my guys were pretty stable in our routes, our territories, and because he had different guys coming in, they come in trying to be gunslingers, and no. So we had our issues. Me and Roger never had a fight. Okay, we got each other's faces a couple of times, but we never had a fight. But our crews would get into it in the streets because Wrecking Crew, Uncle Jam's Army, and that was just their thing. But most of the time, we talked them down. It was never that serious. We have whooped cat. We have put hands on people. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't Uncle Jam's Army.
Okay. And he did tell a story about he was hanging up some flyers over the Uncle Jam's Army flyers or around them or something, and they walked up on him and his boy who was 6'7", and basically there was a little standoff. But you talked about violation, like talk about some of the violations that would happen, flyers and ethics and how all that was in play back then.
Well, probably the biggest violation you could have back then as a promoter was to either snatch or cover somebody's posters up on the event that had not happened yet. Posters at one time started off being like 50 cents a piece. Then they got to be like $1 a piece. And by the time you put the nails, put a crew out there, you're talking about almost $2 a poster to hang out, and you got 300 of them to hang. Okay, so you got as a promoter, I probably invested $400 or $500 in my posters, plus another $200 or $300 to get them hung up. Okay. another 200 or 300. My boys, you know, you had to take care of your people. Plus gas and everything a little bit cheaper, but still. So you got $500-600 invested in a poster hang, and I did mine every week. And I had custom made posters, I had custom colored posters, and I had a territory from Slauson to Alondra, Crenshaw to Long Beach Boulevard was kind of our territory. Now, guess because the Eve after dark was pretty much stationary. Uncle Jam's army moved around a lot. So if they was on Crenshaw, they might go under us or go over us. And usually, because we were probably the most popular promoters, we had a understanding either go over or under. And sometimes you get a new guy, he just want to go. When I say over, I mean over the top or under the bottom. Okay, the middle of the pole is the prime spot. That's where the cars see your posters at. Anything else you got to look down or look up at. So if you had a rookie out there who was trying to impress the boss, he might cover up your posters, and then my guys would tear them down. And if I got really pissed, I sent a headhunter out and bring me everything off the poles. Everything. I don't want nobody on the pole but us. And that's how Yeller got into the game, because I sent him out and he came back not only with promoters posters, he came back with houses for rent, lost dogs. Have you seen this kid? Have you seen this dog? You know, and it was like his first time. He had a trunk full of posters. My bounty was 25 cents a poster. So he kind of hustled me, but I ain't mad because it showed he had, I didn't tell him what not to bring. I said bring all the posters. I'm thinking dance party posters. He just grabbed everything off the poles. So, and I have that. So he stuck around from that point on.
And Yellow was around a couple years before Dre even came into the picture, right?
Yeah, Yellow came in right after the club, almost maybe about 6-7 months after the club opened. Dr. Rock, one of my main DJs, he left suddenly, and then Yellow was already around, hanging out, checking out Dr. Rock. So I was actually the main DJ, and because I started getting busy at the club, doing different things, collecting money, counting money, I gave Rock my slot, and then Yellow took Rock's slot when he came in because Unknown ran the bar. So that was kind of the transition. And every once in a while, like I tell him, because I had the most experienced part with doing parties, every once in a while they get stuck. And I had to go in there like a relief pitcher, tap them on the shoulder. I got it for a minute. And, because sometimes DJs get stuck. A lot of guys can't play for 2 hours, or they can play themselves out in 2 hours, and they don't know where to go next. And that's where I came in at. So, he came into the slot because Dr. Rock had it first, and he kind of slid into the slot, but I couldn't get him to talk that much. He wouldn't. Dr. Rock was a mouthpiece like I am. Yella, he was all right, but he wasn't as verbal as I like my guys to be.
Okay. Now I want your opinion on something. As a kid, I remember there was some level of fear to N.W.A. I always thought, if I ever crossed Ice Cube wrong, he'd kick my ass, he'd shoot me. MC Ren, if I ever crossed him, man, he'd body slam me, he'd shoot me. Eazy-E would do the same thing. But one person that never gave me that, quote, fear, and keep in mind, I'm talking 10, 11-year-old me, was Yella. And I'm not dissing him because he was a very important part. But why do you think, or how do you think he became a member of N.W.A? Is it because Dre saw he was so talented that he didn't want to lose him to someone else?
Dre and Yella was Ace Cool, and they was Wrecking Crew. They was like inseparable. When I send Yella off to do a gig, sometimes we take Dre with him, or I had to make Dre stay behind so he can DJ. And they ran together outside the club. They would have contests. They go rent a hotel, go half on the hotel room, see how many girls they could screw in 1 week before the bill come up. They had a lot in common. And they both loved chasing women. And although Yella's older, he was just as wild as Dre was. And I guess when they decided to make a move, Dre was making music, and Yella felt it might be the best move for him. I can't really speak on that too much.
Yeah. So what was his talent more? Was it more on the DJ side or the drum side or equally both?
Scratching, drum programming, and running the board. You know, he would run the board. He would knock out some beats. He would knock out track, chords or whatever. Like you said, we was all back then. We had the sequencer, so we had to do was play it by one finger or figure it out as we go, and the sequencer did most of the work. Hmm. So, and he was a pretty good engineer as well.
Okay. Yeah, he said something that, struck me as well. He said that when you're DJing, sometimes you get into this zone and it's almost this spiritual feeling when the crowd's rocking to every, hit that you're playing. And he said it's almost, talk to me about that comment. And is that something that you've experienced yourself as a DJ?
Man, that's why I don't play young sets. I play a club right now, man. Not because I have to, because I love doing it. Okay? Dude, I play a 50 and older club, okay? And there's no more satisfaction to me to somebody when you get to play that right song and about 5 people look at you, where you find that at? And they get that smile like, yeah, boy. Or you see the crowd just start feeling what you're doing and they singing and dancing and having a good time. It's like R. Kelly said, it's such a great feeling. And it's a sense of power, man. It's a sense of power. I mean, I hadn't played regularly since the pandemic. I was playing at the Townhouse here in LA. I would relieve the jock from time to time, maybe twice a month. And first of all, let me say this. That's my first entertainment love, okay? Like some people like to sing. You got singers singing till they can't talk no more. Mm-hmm. I love DJing, okay? I love DJing for crowds that I can relate to. I can't relate to every crowd. I'm not gonna go out there and try to compete with none of these young cats scratching the elbow. No, I ain't what I do. But I provide the soundtrack for the evening. From the first song to the last song, it's a purpose. It's a purpose for me playing that song. And most cats don't understand it. I was trained in radio. Okay, as fresh out of high school, I was trained in radio how to program a radio station. So I took that same skill, how to program a party, and we're doing this since I was 19 years old. And I didn't have a lot of records. Okay, so you learn from the School of Hard Knocks how to keep people interested without boring them, without being too redundant. What makes people tick? Sometimes they dance. Sometimes they just want to sit there and sing. Sometimes they just want to sit there and bob their heads and think and reminisce on the time they was having doing that song was hot, especially when you're dealing with an older crowd. There's some songs that you can play, people start crying. People start crying. So as a young dude, 14 years old, going to Campanella Park, yes, Campanella Park in Compton, I used to go to dances all the time. And this dude named Hunter Hancock, Boss Tom Cross, and another brother works for KJLH right to this day. Were always the DJs at the radio, at the sock hops, and I saw the kind of power that DJs had. DJs have a lot of power. Most cats don't understand the power of music. Once you understand the power of music and the power that you have as a DJ, how you can control, that you can literally control the crowd. You can stop a fight. You can start a fight. You can start a fight. You play enough of the wrong shit. And that's something I've learned. And as I've gotten older, I hear people complaining all the time about not having no place to go and nobody wants to be around. If older women don't want to be around a bunch of women twerking with a better body. No. You got some cutie pies out there, half naked. You can't get your swerve on. You can't meet nobody nice because you got too much competition. He don't want to do nothing with it, but they gonna buy him drinks, blah blah blah. They gonna milk him. By the time it's over, everybody gonna go home, gonna get pissed off. But to have a venue where I'm at now, the French Quarters, where it caters to people 50 and over, and to say 50 and over sounds crazy, but 50 is a new 30. You know what I'm saying? So if you 50 and you still like playing, when you're 50 years old, you can appreciate the 70s, you appreciate the 80s, you appreciate the 90s, and the new millennium with a touch of the new stuff as well. So that's the power. You have a much more vast appreciation of music because you've got more to deal with. So if I play something from the 80s, they probably was in high school. Okay. If I'm playing something from the 70s, that might be something their mama played at their house. Maybe thinking about their daddy. That's my daddy's favorite song. And this is that's how you get emotions, get people involved with you emotionally. And you play something from the 90s or the early 2000s, like the P.D. Pablo. They still had it going on. What, 20 years ago? They were 30 then. So they still, their mind is going back when they were 30. So they do different things. So I talk about music. I have to calm myself down because I'm real passionate about it. So even at 50, you got a whole history of music that a DJ that knows what he's doing can play for you to help you reminisce, have a good time, and was probably the key part to all of this. The music was better.
There it is, 100%.
The music dictated good feelings, fun, love, just doing something different. It wasn't about killing and shooting and stabbing. And even when I play some gangster rap, I'm playing Biggie, Tupac, going back to Cali, Nothing But a Gangster Party. And you got some old OGs in there. They do their little thing, and then they cha-cha a few minutes later. So you don't get stuck on one vibe, and that's the beauty of playing for older folks. You got so many vibes you can roll with, and not be stuck in trying to impress people with your scratching. And I ain't never scratched nothing on the record but my ass. I never had to, because I realized that with older people, that first 4 or 5 seconds of the record, like the Ozzy Brothers, For the Love of You, that that guitar part, that's key. Same thing with Frankie Beverly and Maze before I let go. That dun dun dun, you can't scratch that.
Yeah. Unless
you want to get slapped. Okay, so that's just my musical rant for right now. Don't get me started with music, man.
Music is my number one love. And if I may, while we're talking about music, I want to let the audience know about something that I have going on that Lonzo and I were talking about behind the scenes. I have a album coming out with a group, and I know I'm an old guy, hear me out, but it's going to a good cause. It's a peaceful hip hop album. It's a good vibe album. It definitely will take you back to the 90s. And the good thing about it is 25% of the proceeds are going to go towards Hood Peace. So I am going to keep you guys posted on that. Go to my channel, Dusty Vision TV. And I don't ask people to, support me, or, all I ask is hit the like button, but I'm asking if you could support me on this. There will be more information coming out shortly, but it's going to be an August 16th release date, and we're going to have pre-orders and all that. So go to Dusty Vision TV and please check that out. 25% of the proceeds are going to go towards Hood Peace.
And Hood Peace is part of my nonprofit, the Lyrical Revolution. I mean, that's my other thing, Lyrical Revolution. I realize lyrics are very powerful, and you wonder why people are in the mindset they are. They're being programmed every day. Kill, shoot, fuck, bitch, oh. They being programmed to this. And I know people, that's no. It's a part of it. It's a part of it. It's not everything. It's not one thing. I was watching this Will Smith movie the other day when he was a gambler, and what was it called? Focus. Called Focus.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
And the movie was called Focus. And there was one scene in the movie where Will Smith was randomly betting this guy, this Asian guy, dollar. It got to be millions and millions of dollars, okay? And what they had done over a period of time, they had literally programmed this guy's mind indirectly or directly to pick a number that he thought was random, okay? Number was 56. He kept hearing this word in the streets. He kept seeing the number. His apartment number was 56. He saw this guy on the field wearing his number, and there was no way Will could have cheated, but because of the programming of this guy's mind, he picked 56 after Will and them had all been telling him subliminally to pick 56. I think it was like $5 or $10 million he got the guy for. And basically, that's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a lot of subliminal programming that you don't even realize. You know, I saw a post on Facebook, and it had a picture of Times Square in New York, and showed all the different advertisements. Then they showed a picture below that, all the advertising stripped away, and it said they said buy, consume, and that's basically what you're being programmed to buy stuff. And that's why my channel ain't that popular, because they don't want y'all talking about this kind of shit. Because if you realize how you being programmed, your ass ain't you ain't valuable as they want you to be.
Let's just say, we're not conspiracy theorists or anything, but we do know there's a fact that certain platforms that we perform on, we're not going to say their names specifically because we appreciate them for what they do for us, but they do make it so you don't see certain content and you don't get certain knowledge. They know how to push the BS to you. When you see the suggested videos and all that, it's usually BS, but it's rarely some real stuff. And I'm gonna get off my soapbox about conspiracy theories.
If I was talking about more about dumb shit, I would be a lot bigger.
Facts, man. Facts. I had a conversation on my show about there's a big YouTube beef thing going on with YouTubers beefing against everybody. Lonzo, I don't know if you know it, but it's like 1990s hip hop here. We got East Coast YouTubers beefing with West Coast YouTubers. People saying, meet me here, meet up, let's box, this, and that. And it's so corny, man. And I could people have dissed me. I could jump into that realm and get 100,000 views per video and all that, but that's not what I'm about. I'm about positivity and peace, and save me with all that madness.
When I first started doing YouTube, I took a class from the Urban League. They had a class for seniors. Okay, yeah, I'm a goddamn senior. On social media and stuff like that. And I asked him, I say, man, actually instructor. I says, hey, is it possible for me to be a popular YouTuber and maintain my dignity? He said, probably not. Okay. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do it like I always have. I've always done things my way. I can't just do bullshit, man. I'm not a bullshit person. I love to bullshit around and have fun, but I'm not a bullshit person. There's certain things that just not. I'm not attracted to, and I can't disseminate. That's just Lonzo.
Yeah. You know what? Speaking of bullshit, I asked you this question about a month and a half ago, and I'm going to ask you again, because last time I asked you, you were familiar with the name, but you really didn't know much about it. But I would love to know your thoughts if a month and a half later you are familiar with this person. Are you familiar with Charleston White?
Yeah. I've been checking him out. Him out.
There we go. So, about a month and a half ago, I didn't get this response, so I kind of moved on. We didn't really talk about it. But, you know, from the videos that you've watched of Charleston White, and I know by me saying the name, pretty much everybody knows. I had Charleston White on my show about a year and a half ago before anybody even knew who Charleston White was. Okay. Go to Dusty Vision TV and check out Charleston White, my video from early 2020. But what are your thoughts on some of the things that Charleston White has said?
Charleston White says some interesting things. Sometimes he goes a little bit too far to the extreme. I've heard some of the things he said from other people's mouths, okay? And it made me laugh about, because me and one of my good friends had an argument. How you gonna say something like, we should have killed all of them? You should have aborted all of them. How you gonna say that, man? And then Charleston come out with the same kind of situation, same thing. I'm like, dude, that's some extreme shit. But he does speak on a few things that I agree with, man.
Correct.
What he says is that the whole gang culture is like a cancer in the community, man. It does not benefit the community. Everybody's putting in work. And putting in work, it's killing other black men. Help me understand how did that benefit anybody? How are we winning on that? I'll never understand that, man. You know, when you talking about, even on my channel, I saw somebody said, so they wasn't real killers, okay? And I'm sorry, and I think it's real killers. I'm thinking in the content he used it in, he was talking about somebody that actually put people down, okay? Why is that a badge of honor. Why is that important? Especially when we got enough people already gunning for us as it is. Why we have to gun for each other, and we getting street hood credit for killing each other, and then we get everybody else gets condemned, canceled for putting hands on somebody. But we do it for a hobby, okay? And I know people, all the police did. Yeah, wait. But who does it? Who gonna stand up for you when Pookie put hands on you, put a bullet in your head? And that's one thing I do agree with Charleston White. We have to realize, man, we got a lot of shit. We have a lot of shit of our own. We have to clear out of our own closet. Okay, and some of this, at some point in time, we got to realize that it's not worth. We're working backwards, like you said earlier. We're working backwards. We're going backwards. Mm-hmm. You know, at one point in time, gang violence had curtailed. Okay, gang violence had kind of curtailed. The whole gang thing was kind of going the way of crack cocaine. At one point in time, crack cocaine was the shit. And now people still do it, but it ain't nowhere near what it was in the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. Okay? The money is not there no more. Okay? So a lot of cats who was doing that is driving Uber, driving trucks, driving for Amazon. Folks, not most cats didn't want to do it back then, but because jobs had dried up so bad, that was the first option, and it looked like a very profitable option. Once they went through the system, got out of it, you can't melt and pour them back in their game no more. And now, when I talked to some of my boys who was in the game at one time, they're all buying diesel trucks and box trucks and driving for Amazon, or got 4 or 5 cats doing the same thing. So anyway, when you understand that a lot of what we experience in our community is by design. It's not by happenstance. It's not just by we're gonna put crackers gonna show up on cracking some guns show up in Compton. No shit, how did that happen? I don't know, man. I think it was the crack fairy, the gun fairy dropped off a bunch of guns and crack. It was a Easter bunny, the gun bunny or some shit. Come on, man. Somebody asked me about that on the chat room during the week about that situation with the guns in Compton. Yeah, that happened. That really happened, man. Anybody, people from the hood know it happened. It's not a hood fairy tale. It's a real situation. So who had that kind of money to buy a truckload or a train full of guns, just leave them there, and then, oh shit, we forgot the bullets. And all of a sudden the bullets show up. Come on, man. Yep. Come on. But we keep buying into the bullshit because somebody sings about it, makes it cool, and we determine what cool is. We determine what cool is on all levels, for everybody. If we say it's cool,
Yep, facts. And that's why I tell people
it don't fly. If we say it don't fly, if right now we say gangbanging ain't gonna fly no more, guess what? It'll be over with. Mm-hmm. Now, and here's the part that people, when I say it's like a cancer in the community. Yeah, they got biker gangs, they got Asian gangs, got all kind of gangs, but most of those gangs don't intertwine that much with the civilian community. Whatever problems they have, pretty much you can tell through them. The Hells Angels do not like the Mongols, no doubt about it. Okay, and very few times have you heard of a bunch of civilians getting hurt because of their situation. That happens with us every day. Okay, I mean, like you said, 4 gunmen show up at a laundromat and shoot at 10 people, including kids. Come on, man. What the kids got to do with this? Why are you traumatizing kids? Why are you traumatizing kids? I tell you what, if they weren't black and somebody else did something like that, we'd have a fucking fit.
Lonzo, if this, and once again, I love my gay folks out there, but if someone walked into a gay party, I'm just say gay party, and 10 people were shot, this would be the #1 story in the country right now.
Yeah. If anybody other than us did that to us, it would be the #1 story on all the black platforms.
That too, man. If a white man walked into a black church and shot 10 people, this would be once again the biggest story.
If 4 white dudes did that to a black folks in a laundromat, everybody and his mama would be strapped up looking for them fools.
Man.
But for us, it gets written off for being part of the game. And my question again is, what game are we playing that we don't never win? We don't never win. Ain't no winners. People that got shot gonna lose. People did the shooting gonna lose. The family's gonna lose. The community gonna lose. The laundry owner, he gonna lose. Because for a person who has somebody die at a venue, dude, you swear I shot him myself. I didn't know the person. Because he died on your property. You know, I didn't know nothing. He died on your property. You're responsible. You're culpable. It's your fault. Somebody walked up and did something. It's the laundromat's fault not having proper security. Because you'll find you a shiesty-ass lawyer that's going to come up with a justification that it was a laundromat's fault that people rolled by and shot through his window. He should have had bars up. Should have had plate glass, bulletproof. Why would I have to do all that happen before?
We're terrorists in our own community, man. We're terrorizing our own community, dude.
That's the part that nobody getting, man. But because it's justified, swept under the rug as being, you know, oh man, this is how the hood is. The hood is that way because we make it that way. Ain't nobody coming outside the hood and doing no dirt to us. Yes, the police do fuck with us. I've been a victim of the police myself. But if there was consequences, more people start filing complaints, or whatever the case may be, they would be a lot more. They would be a lot more respectful. I tell you what, when you move out the hood and other folks move in, they won't have the same problem. They're gonna make sure they have consequences.
They're gonna show up to city council meetings. They're gonna show up to the school count, whatever PTA. Yeah, PTA meeting. They ain't gonna let a shoe sale or the fight or the gang stop them from going and take care of their kids' business. They'll have it on their phone, sitting in the damn auditorium, but they're not gonna let that stop them. Okay, and they're gonna know the captain of the doggone police department. They're gonna know the captain. They're gonna be a part of the block club. Yep.
So man, everybody gonna know everybody's name, and everybody gonna have everybody's phone number, and it's gonna be some movement done. Okay, they ain't gonna go for it. That's the difference. We go for everything. We sit back and accept everything.
Yeah, man. Going back to Charleston White, because you said a couple of things during this conversation that I want to touch on, but he said when you said can you be a successful YouTuber and keep your dignity? Now, I invited him on my show well over a year ago because I agreed with a lot of the stuff that he said back then. But then he started putting extra stuff on top of it. Him and I were supposed to do business together. I had a show called The Uncle Tom Show where I kind of, talk about issues that were similar to his. And I have his number. We talked, and I told him back in, March of 2020, I was like, you're too out there for me, man. And this is not even 90% of what he's doing now, Lonzo. So it just seemed like, so I said, I got to stay away from you, man. I'll be cool with you from afar. But, he started saying some very interesting and disrespectful stuff. And I think it's to get views. In my personal opinion, I could be wrong. He likes the attention. And that's where the whole can you be a successful YouTuber and still keep your dignity thing just really hit me.
I saw a video of him the other day. He was someplace where a bunch of cats talking about, I'm here, ain't nobody gonna do this. He gonna stand on the hood of a car. And he ain't no big dude talking to gang ahead. And I'm like, dude, why you gotta do that? But rumor has it, he's affiliated with Jay Prince. Okay.
I didn't know that.
Huh?
I didn't know that. Okay.
Well, rumor has it. I saw another video that said he was supposed to be connected to Jay Prince, and that I don't know. I don't know either one of them. But that's what I was told. He was affiliated with Jay Prince, and everybody got a lot of respect for Jay Prince. So he tends, I don't know what he's calling that card, but he's doing. In some cases, I've seen him do some antics that remind me of '69. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Standing on cars, calling people out, blah, blah, blah. Okay, man, that's cool. But is that really necessary? Okay? They shut this channel down, right?
Oh yeah, a couple times. His channel's been shut down a couple times. He has a new one now as of like a week ago, and he's already at like 50,000 subscribers. But yeah, he keeps getting shut down because he said some very controversial shit.
Right. He was one of them cats that was trying to get us to vote for Trump, if I ain't mistaken. Nah, man, you cool, but you ain't that cool.
That was one of the reasons I even had him on my show back then, because it was just before, it was, you know, well before the election. And I'm seeing this dude with the Make America Great Again hat. And then not only that, I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But I'm seeing him. Okay, he was a gangster back in the day. He says he was a Crip. I was like, all right, this dude would be an interesting guy to have on my show. Brought him on, great conversation. And then, just like I said, over the months, I was just like, what are you doing? Just cringing, just disrespecting Nipsey Hussle. He disrespected Gonzo, RIP to Gonzo, who just passed away this past week. He, you know, he's just doing a lot for clout and views.
Right.
And
you know, and that's something, man. When did we start disrespecting the dead, man?
Man.
When did that become fashionable, dude? I mean, that is what, excuse me, that's like a byproduct. And I say this whole generation is all about respect, but as soon as they want to piss you off, they do something disrespectful. I used to have a girlfriend. I used to have a thing about being called an asshole. Okay, I did not like being called an asshole.
Because you were an asshole. Because you were an asshole, I'm sure.
I was, okay. And I told her, baby, please do whatever you do. Don't call me an asshole. And guess what she did? The first thing, she got mad at my ass.
Of course, yeah.
First thing she did, asshole. Okay. So when here it is, there's certain things you know are major violations, not just in the street, but in life itself. Okay, certain things you just don't do, man. And people run to those things first chance they get to try and get some clout. And that's why I say the internet has been a great invention, but it ain't for everybody, man. It ain't for everybody. And some people abuse it and they misuse it. And I see that a lot. And like I said before, when you have a generation that everything is about respect, disrespecting me, I felt they disrespected me. I felt some kind of way. But yet still, when you get upset, the first thing you want to do is run to a disrespectful move to try and counter or get a reaction out of somebody. Then you ain't done nothing, but you did the same thing yourself. You playing the wrong game.
Yeah, man. Well, we got about 10 minutes left. Can we answer a couple questions that were in the comments?
Go for it.
This one's going to hurt, Lonzo. I know it's going to hurt because it's hurting me just reading it. Oh, my man. Yo, Unc, did you ever have a cool relationship with DOC?
Yeah.
Now, I'm a preface that by saying, guys, there's a little behind the scenes thing. Lonzo had a full conversation with the DOC. He had him on the show, but he forgot to hit record.
Man.
So the DOC interview that never was. Maybe you can tell us after you answer that question about your relationship.
The same day, man. I was too embarrassed, man. DOC came to me. The DJ that left Eve After Dark that allowed Yella to slip into his slot was Dr. Rock. Dr. Rock moved to Texas, and that's where he met DOC. Dr. Rock formed a group called the Feel the Fresh Crew that came to California to record here in my studio, and that's where Dre and all. Well, we actually met. The crew went to Texas to do a show, and that's when we connected with Dr. Rock and the Feel the Fresh Crew, and they all came back to California to record in the studio. DOC just did his documentary, and he called me personally to be a part of his documentary. And I didn't realize, hey man, why you want me in a documentary? Lonzo, man, shit, dog, wasn't for me. For you, I wouldn't have met Dr. Rock and blah blah blah. So yeah, and he did do my show, and probably the one of the most stupidest things I've ever did in my life. I did a whole show, an hour and a half. He opened up his heart about his drinking situation. Having a kid with Erykah Badu, how to change his life, all this stuff. And I fucked around and didn't push record.
Before you guys laugh out there, we've all done it once as a podcaster. We've all done it once.
And did not push record.
Oh.
I couldn't call him at that time and say, man, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I'm going to call him up, hey, man, tell him what happened. But we cool. I mean, we cool right now. Me and DOC, we never had a problem. I had to apologize to him because I thought he set me up one time. But
talk about that.
Huh?
Talk about that.
Well, it was a situation right after Dre left Crew Cut. I was in Compton at this hotel. They was having a convention. I was on the panel, and I saw him whisper at Suge. And shortly, and he kind of looked my way, but he might not be looking at me. And I always thought he was pointing me out because shortly later on in the lobby, Suge walked up on me. And I guess he was trying to intimidate me. I was talking to two guys, and we having a full-blown conversation, and for no reason, they just disappeared. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? And I turned around, Suge was standing behind me, smelling like 8-Ball. And I'm like, oh, shit, here you go. And hey, man, you Lonzo? I said, yeah. I'm Suge. I said, I know who you are. And he says, I heard you got a problem with my people. And I knew what he was talking about, but I'm going to tell y'all something in the game of the streets. Always play dumb. Buy yourself some time. And who's your people, man? And while he's answering this question, I'm easing my hand on this phone receiver. Because back then they had them wall phones. You ever see the Joe Pesci in the casino movie where he went and fooled out with that phone handle? Well, that was my intention if things go bad. And I said, no, man. I said, I ain't got a problem with nobody. I know where you guys are. You're right there at Dick Griffey Building, right there on Highland and Sunset, Highland and Hollywood Boulevard. If I had a problem, I know where to find you at. And the whole demeanor changed. Oh, man, wow, man. He gave me a card. You got some artists, let me know. Whoop-de-whoop. I took my hand to the receiver, gave me that, and we left. That was it. And I thought for a while, I was one of the DOC pointed me out to, but I figured it was just one of them situations. I had to apologize to him for that shit.
What year are we talking? What year of Suge Knight are we talking?
Before Death Row.
Because he had his levels. So before Death Row was Death Row.
Death Row was still DEF Row at that time. They hadn't even had a record out yet. Dre had just left, and it was the Compton Lasman Hotel. So Compton ain't the Lasman Hotel ain't been the Lasman since the 90s. So it had to be maybe about 90, man, 89, 90, dude. I was just starting my company called Mr. Link Entertainment. I was doing something totally different at that time. So yeah, I was passing out flyers, doing my thing, and he walked up on me, and that was we only had two conversations. That was one of them. And the second time he came to the club, and he came downstairs to the cafe to meet somebody, and I had to pass by. I got a picture with him. That's it. I mean, sure. But me and DOC, I mean, we cool. Every time I see him, we always have great conversation. He another Gemini, and I tease him about being such a big dude because people don't. He's about 6'3", he's a big motherfucker. I didn't realize he was that goddamn big, so I stood next to him. Okay, and I was teasing. I saw him at this premiere of the Fine One. I said, dude, I didn't know you was this goddamn big. You was big ass linebacker ass. We started laughing and shit. Oh man, that's how they do it in Texas, Lonzo. They going big in Texas. I ain't mad at you, Doc.
You know you're good friends with someone when you can imitate their voice. Even though it was a tragic situation, you know, I'm sure you guys are cool that you can literally imitate his voice. Lastly, before we go, Anthony Holmes said, hey, Lonzo, got that turn off the lights 12-inch today. I see you were ahead of the record company logo necklace charm trend.
Yeah, that was my thing. I've always worn shit around my neck. And when I formed Crew Cut Records, everybody had logos made. Everybody had. I still got mine. I still got my gold piece right to this day. This here is a bunch of chains and rings I had melted down, but I refused to let my Crew Cut go. And my Crew Cut has Crew Cut Records, and at the bottom of it says Lonzo on. You see it on. You see it on. You can see it on the chain. Everybody had one on that. Everybody had one. I think on the album cover. That was the thing we did. We had our logo on the album cover. We all had on black shirts. And I mean, I'm sorry, Doc. My assistant had wrapped it up and shipped it before I had a chance to sign it, Doc. I apologize, man. I really apologize.
What you got coming up on Thursday?
I'm working on Yellow, man. I'm trying to get Yellow on the show.
Ooh, please hit record, man.
I told Unknown has been helping me with this book. I said, look, you done
that's right.
Everybody. Soren Baker, Vlad, you need to come see my black ass too, damn it. Okay? So
yeah, Unknown was off camera answering questions and shit on Vlad TV.
oh, was it?
I guess Yella took him with him, and he said Unknown's off camera, and I get Unknown does not get on camera, but you heard him in the background.
So yeah, that's how I'm working on him. Hopefully, I'll know. Hopefully by the day of tomorrow. I got another something else I can pull up my sleeve right quick. But yeah, that's how we doing it, folks. We good?
Yeah, man. Yeah, always a pleasure, my man. Every Tuesday, I look forward to this.
Yes, I do too. Man, this show here gives me a chance to vent on a lot of shit I think about during the week. So, when you get to be an old dude, you got a bunch of old buddies, and we sit around and talk about your head. A lot of what you guys are hearing are regurgitated arguments I've already had earlier that week. So much love to y'all for allowing me to share this with you. Hopefully somebody's listening and it's gonna make a difference in their life. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always a pleasure, my man.
You know how we do it, y'all, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything in between, folks. You're live with the Godfather, West Coast Hip Hop, and my main man, the Dusty One, Dusty Vision, folks. See y'all Thursday, God willing. We out. Peace.
Peace.